Right. That makes no sense. Men should only vote. Men should only vote, little lady bear, obviously. It's not even it's just absurd. Women are not supposed to be voting. It was a horrible mistake. And I know you feel real good about it. You're so easy to manipulate. Have you ever wondered why all propaganda is aimed at women? Like all? Why everything's about feelings and puppy dogs and unicorns and safety and take care of my body, my choice, like me too, like every fucking thing, every stupid hashtag is aimed at women because their minds are easier to manipulate. That's a fact. They look towards social approval, social cues for all of their decisions. Men don't. Some men do. There's weak men. That's why they're trying to turn men more into women so that it's easier to manipulate them. That it's like, oh, everybody's doing it. Oh, no way. Do you have the new shoes or whatever? It's so preposterous that women vote. It's like that you're going to be a part of figuring out who the leader of men is. It's like, it's a joke. I think toddler boys should have a better chance at selecting the right leader. Was that wrong to tell my wife to vote? It's your life, man. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I think. This is what I think. Yeah, women are more ruled by emotion. Yeah, absolutely. If women didn't vote, our country would not be even close to having any of the problems that we have. Every single election, because all the propaganda is aimed at women. All of it. Dude, look at who watches these stupid shows. Who buys into all this stuff. It's like, do you know how many households where the woman votes for the Democrat, the man votes for the Republican? And it's like, don't get me wrong, a lot of it is the man's fault for not leading the woman properly. But female tyranny. We're deep in female tyranny. It's the man's fault. I've done a joke for years about this. I've done it in Hollywood and they all laughed. They know it's true. I said, how did women get the vote to vote when they couldn't vote in the vote yet? How did that happen? If women couldn't vote, how did they win the right to vote with voting? You ever think about that? That makes no sense, right? It's almost like it's a trick. If women couldn't vote, how could they vote for the right to vote? You ever think about that? I have. Yeah, I won't even entertain it. It's like, oh yeah, women need to vote. No. Women are not supposed to be thinking about governance outside of the home. It's not putting them down. Women should be in charge of the entire home. Do you know how much power that is? They make people good. A mother is the reason you're either a good or a bad person based on your childhood. Don't get me wrong, there's exceptions. But the reason there's so many weak people is they didn't have mothers in their life, controlling them, guiding them, nurturing them, giving them that safety between birth and 7 years old to know that no matter what happens, you are loved, you are protected, you are cared for, and there's somebody that is going to be there when you cry and clean you up when you piss yourself and all that. That's what makes you a good person. That's literally what makes society either good or unlivable. And so to make women men and men women is death. And so to say women should really put their noodles together and think who has the best foreign policy when dealing with China, that isn't their job. They suck at it, and it takes them away from what they should be doing, which is making good people. The concept that a woman, and do you know how fucking racist the media, the news, all they care about as far as voting is their race. That's all they care. Oh, the Latino, the Puerto Rican, the white, the black vote, the white vote, the Puerto Rican vote. It's mind-blowing how racist these people are. They're disgustingly racist. The only category they see voters are their race and then whether or not they have a dick. That's it. You live in a sick world, a very fucked up world. And so understand that the way they see you is only your skin and your race. That's it. And so if you have in-group preference as your race, they say that's evil, even though that's all they see you as. And women, and a huge part of this is because of women. You turn on your television, you listen to a woman tell you the news. You listen to a woman tell you how you should feel about sports and politics. Turn it off. Guys, they have no right to tell you how you should think about sports or politics or anything. They're not made for it. It's embarrassing. And they're so driven by social norms and cues. Like, look at what I'm saying right now. 99% of the world being, how dare you? Does it affect my thoughts? Not one bit. I'm putting this out for the whole world to see on the internet. All my wife's family, everybody. Why? Because I'm a man and this is what's right. It's like the amount of pushback I would get. People know me by now, but it's like, just think about what I'm saying right now and how many people in my life would be like, your husband doesn't think women should vote. I'm a man and I don't give a fuck about the whispers at the cooler and I'm right, guys. That's the thing is when you break the ice, people start being like, yeah, that makes no sense. Why did we think that? I'll tell you why. Because women look for social cues, not for truth. Women will say, well, I'm going to believe what everyone around me thinks. Now, enter in Bernays and mass media. What happened then? Okay, now you can make a woman think that her entire community believes something that she will now comply to when it's all fake, when it's all manipulated and manufactured by a fucking screen. That's what put us in this world. Because women are so easy to hijack that if you show them a screen that say, 4 out of 5 dentists agree you should put fluoride in your fucking water, they go, oh, okay. And if the men have cucked and the men no longer say the truth because they're perverts and they just want blowjobs, your woman will just go, just right off the rails. And so when women say, oh, I just voted, everyone should vote, you should not be voting. You don't know your ass from your elbow. Hopefully you have a husband that puts you on a right path, but you cannot make a decision about who should be president. A lot of women, they've done studies on this. Guys, my dad teaches this rhetoric. He taught Al Roker. They've done studies that women will vote for the man with more facial symmetry. Women will vote for the taller man or the man that says words like, I feel, or I think I should, or says we instead of I. They will literally vote on who runs their nation based on sentences without strong subjects and based on their facial symmetry. Guys, they're fucking retarded when it comes to anything that a man should be doing. The fact that people put women in positions of authority over men is fucking insane. And you are not helping women by doing this. They don't know what they're, and men, you got to start saying what everyone knows is true. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, let's listen to this woman tell me how I should feel about politics. What? And this isn't sexism. Women have a more important job. They are rubber meets the road on your children and your home. A good woman in your home is the difference between having a life worth living and a life not worth living. Like the woman that makes a house a home and makes your children good is the reason that you get out of bed in the morning and work a lot of times. Like they're the difference between a life of total shit and a life that you wake up and you can face the monsters as a man because you know that there's something so warm and good in your home. I'm not saying more important. No, I shouldn't have said more important if I said more important. But it's like their job is so important. And like that feminine nature that is being put into politics now, which is making everything shit, is so crucial for children. that they look at their children. It's so good when they have actual friends, actual neighbors, other women in their life where they do get along. They do look at each other for social cues. They do help rear the children. And in that time in a child's life, they should have endless security. You will be loved. You will have, I will be up with you when you cry. A father is like a 2-3-year-old. It's like, the hell's he crying about? Let him, it doesn't compute. They need that unlimited love. That is the worst thing you can possibly have in governance, in academia, in science. What's this math equation? Well, I feel this. Well, the scientific results of this came out this way, but that would hurt people's feelings. Guys, that's great for moms, shit for everything else. So when women say, oh, you should vote, I vote. Dude, you should not vote. You don't know what you're saying. It's not your job. It's like men should never breastfeed and raise little kids. Like, if it was just me here, my kids would be psychopaths. I'd be like, crying makes him strong. Let him cry all night. If I just ignore him, he'll get strong and tough. That's how you make psychopaths. I would be the worst at raising little kids. Like, if the kid was crying, I'd be like, let him cry. He'll stop. It's like, oh no, he needs to be hugged. It's like, he's going to always want that. Dude, you need that. And that's how you make a psychopath. Amy Barrett shouldn't be a judge? Of course not. It's a joke. It's a joke, guys. Imagine standing in front of a woman to be judged based on the law. I get it. It is what it is. It's like, that isn't their role. And want to know the reason that people think it's their role? It's because of women. It's like, well, why can't a midget be the starter of the Bulls? It's like, they're not good at it. But they don't make them feel bad. That's crazy talk in a world of men. And it's men's fault for even allowing this shit. Oh, look at her. She's so excited about being a judge. She'll probably suck me off. It is, dude. It's because men turned into a bunch of fucking lying perverts. It's men's fault that this happened. It's men's fault. Men should have led women better. You are not helping them. All right. What else you guys want to talk about? So no, everyone shouldn't vote. Empathy has no place outside the home. No, it's death. It's literally like, oh, well, feelings. Ugh. And I'm an emotional person. Like, I'm an artist. I have high empathy. I know one of the reasons I know all this is because I know both worlds. I understand this. I have high empathy for people, but I'm still a dude. I'm still not supposed to, take care of toddlers. I'm supposed to they look at me work. I'm good. They watch me work. They see how I treat their mother. I provide. I let her have a very calm, wonderful household. That's my job. My job is not to be hands-on with toddlers. I would be like, just keep crying. You shouldn't be crying right now. If you keep crying, you can't hang out with me. I mean, that's crazy. Politicians complaining about racism is the podcast. Guys, all they care about is race. All they care about is race. Oh, the Puerto Rican voter, the Mexican voter. Do you know how many categories you can categorize a human being? And all they think about is race? That's it, dude. Gender and race, gender and race. God made it pretty simple for us. Men should be men, women. Of course. Guys, it's a joke. You've got a beautiful relationship with your boys? Yeah, because they have a great mother. Amy makes them good, which allows me to be this good guy in their life. If it was just me, it would be terrible. Because I don't have the nurturing ability. I'm terrible at that. I'll nurture for a little bit. Like if you go through a breakup, I'll be like, oh, no way, that sucks. A year later, if you're like, oh, I wonder what Tina's up to, I'm like, you're fucking weak. I'm like that with kids. If it's like, he's crying again, I'm like, and then Amy even sees me my look, where I'm just like, I just watched it. He didn't even fall that hard, and she's just like, so I let it go. It's fine. All right. It's like the concept of saying that women should do male roles and men should do women roles or else you're sexist is the epitome of the upside down. Do you see families as happy as mine very often? I mean, honestly, how often do you see families like us where we live in a 600 square foot corner of a barn? We love being around each other. My wife is looking younger and more beautiful than when we met. We have these thriving family. Everybody's doing great. And this is my opinion. So what are you going to tell me? You're going to tell me that this 40-year-old fucking woman on Prozac with a bunch of cats knows families, they know women? I know women more than that woman. Oh, how dare you? I know women more than that woman. Because she's been on hormones and pills so fucking long that they don't even know what they are. They're a chemistry experiment. Women need men. Women need a man to say that isn't your job. But dude, I'm so sweet to Amy. So sweet. Like I really am. It's because I know my role. Like I'm very, very nice to her and I'm very like caring. But it's because I know my role. It's because I know that I'm not supposed to be a nurturer. All right. Oh, well, Amy, she has her master's degree in structural engineering. She feels really, really lucky and grateful that she doesn't have to work in a cubicle and pay off debt. I paid the Jew loans. It's a disservice to women to make them do a man's job. It means you hate them. Spare the rod, hate the child. Put a woman in a cubicle, hate the woman. It's a hatred. It's not even like an ignorance. It means you hate them. It means that you want, there's a hatred there. Because you know how happy they'd be without that shit. Oh, who do you think should be president, honey? The fuck do they know? They don't know anything about that. That's like asking me about anything with the kids. I don't know anything about it. Like, what should we have for dinner? A lot of meat. I don't know. Without Amy, I'd just be like, meat. Like, I don't know. I can't make things good. Like, what should we do with the house? I don't know. Put a giant fucking bed somewhere and like gold. I don't know. Guns, gold, and a bed. Like, it's like, I don't know how to make anything good or pleasant or beautiful. Nothing. My life, I could just be crushing and all this. I would be surrounded by nothing. Like, look at that. Would I have a little nook for Walter to go up and like, look at how like pleasant that corner is. Look at how pleasant that corner is. Would I do that? No. No, that would be a gun, a little thing of silver, and like a punching bag. It's a joke. All right. And so how's your life even livable? You can have a lot of money or like people like you or whatever, but your life just sucks. There's no warmth in your home. You don't smell sourdough cooking in the fucking, I would literally, the sourdough would fail and I'd shoot it. And I'd fucking throw it out the window and make George eat it. Be like, fuck you. And then I'd go like, it just isn't even close, guys. And the yin and the yang is so important. And if you try and tell women that they're good at men shit, you're like, okay. And don't get me wrong, Amy's better at putting stuff together than me. She's better at reading directions. She's better at certain like stereotypically male things. There's a wiggle room. You know, I'm not saying it's all or one thing or another. It's like I'm an artsy guy. I'm a classical piano player. She knows way more about putting shit together. She has more of an engineering mind than me. But in general, you know, I'm pretty right on the money.